over $100 million in unclaimed money goes unawarded each year because students don't know it exists. So Scholarly solves that problem by leveraging technology to be like a dating app for money and students, which is great, right? Around 2008, that was when I was preparing to go to college. My mom lost her job because of the recession. I basically had good grades. I had high test scores. I started nonprofits. I was kind of that type A student, like probably a lot of people are. But colleges weren't giving a lot of aid, so I had to find money. So I desperately went and applied for as many scholarships as possible, and it took me months to find them. I didn't have access to the internet. I had to even apply for some essays on my cell phone. I literally would sit back in my bed and press submit on 600-word essays, typing them from my phone. The hard work ended up paying off. I ended up winning over $1 million in scholarships. I didn't do that by design. I just applied for literally so many that I ended up getting a lot of them. And with that, I was suddenly able to go to college. After winning that money, I kind of went on this crusade of just trying to help other people do the same. And I realized that people of different ethnic, economic backgrounds are all facing these issues. I went to Drexel, so I had, friends who didn't have necessarily the same background, but who were still facing this issue. And the biggest part about getting the money is finding it. That's really ultimately why I started Scholarly, because it was this idea is that there's all this money looking for students looking for the money, and they can't find each other. When I first started Scholarly, it was right kind of at the peak when everything was transitioning to mobile. And the first reaction we got was initially, why not just make it a website? Why not make it a website? And and that was kind of what a lot of people are saying with a lot of apps. I don't want to do everything on my phone. And then this kind of renaissance of mobile started to happen. Whereas that it was great that it was mobile because one, we actually designed the original app where kids didn't even have to use the internet to search, because I thought of myself when I was didn't have access to internet at home, how can we make sure low income students can be able to kind of use the platform and be able to use it where they go? Or if a student doesn't have access to a computer at home, can they search for scholarships, then go to their computer at a library or at school and apply for them? We are a technology platform, so the same way we can match students with scholarships, we can start to match them with internships. We can start to match them with other resources, and we can even say, and there are other ways to reduce college costs by ensuring that students have access to the most affordable books, the most affordable resources, and there's business models around that, right? So I think that leveraging Scholarly as a platform to match students with students and eventually expanding that market beyond students to match people with other opportunities using the same technology we use. To do that is kind of going to be a core piece of that platform, which is why we patented that search engine to be able to kind of think about that and do that in a compelling way, because there are lots of things students don't know about, and I think it's important now that we have this critical mass of users and growing. How do we leverage that to be able to kind of put more resources in front of those students to, from a business perspective, continue to engage our users, but from an impact perspective, continue to give them access to opportunities they may not know otherwise.